Now, this is an old article, so full disclosure, it's from 2016, and it's relevant. It's relevant because there is a backlash against woke ideology in American entertainment right now. And the backlash isn't the fact that people just don't buy the products anymore. But fortunately for the companies, and very unfortunately for the grifting consultants, is the fact that the customers, they do want to keep buying the product. So they're basically flat out stating what is wrong with the product. It's like, if you fix this, we are actually willing to keep buying. Like, we think that the product has potential, but we don't like it the way you're making it now. Like, stop making women that look like men, stop masculinizing female characters, stop forcing diversity everywhere, even when it doesn't make sense. Like, the remake of Prince of Persia doesn't take place in Persia, you don't get to play as the prince, and the main character has the mental illness haircut while fighting on hip-hop music. Like, what does that have to do with the 1001 Nights, which is the theme that Prince of Persia was inspired from? Stop it with the inclusivity nonsense. Like, why is it that in Dragon Age of Consent, characters have chest scars? It doesn't make thematic sense. Like, I understand it in Cyberpunk or The Sims, but this is a fantasy universe in a medieval setting. Like, where do they get the doctors? Where do they get the anesthesiologists? How do they perform the miracle of modern medicine? You're just pushing it for the sake of pushing it, and you're trying to sell the game to a worldwide audience while injecting it with American politics. Like, America is really big on LGBT issues, like they're at an 11, but some other places in the world are at a 3 or a 4. You cannot expect those other places to buy your games if you don't even want to use the word woman, and instead you want to use body type B and body type A. Now, people who defend woke ideology, and this is their strongest argument, their best foot forward, is to say that, number one, it doesn't happen. Like, what woke are you talking about? It doesn't exist. This is not a problem. This is not an issue. I mean, it is impossible to go on any forum right now, even on Reddit, where moderators are banning anyone that's remotely right-wing. Even if you go there, you will still see people complaining about woke ideology. I mean, at this point, the elephant in the room is so difficult to ignore that if you ignore it, you seem delusional. But again, the journalists will say that it's not happening. It's not an issue. And the other thing they say is, why do you care? Why does it matter to you? It's just a video game, brah. It's just it's just entertainment. Why do you care so much? And most people do not have the linguistics equipped to deal with this, and they are doing their best in order to try to save their franchises, basically. That's why they care. They care because they grew up with these IPs, and they would like to see more of Prince of Persia. They would like to see more of Dragon Age. But what they are seeing is not inherent to the theme of Dragon Age. Is not inherent to the theme of Prince of Persia. It is not done with the customer in mind, because this is another thing that they say. It's like, oh, so if it doesn't represent you, and it's like, yes, absolutely. If it doesn't represent me, if it doesn't cater to me, I will not buy it. Because you want my money. If you want other people's money, that's fine. Find a different audience. But, like, if you're coming to me with a product, yes, it does have to cater to me. Money is important. I don't know what world you're living in where money isn't an issue for you, but for most people, money is important. So, yeah, if a product doesn't cater to me, I will not buy it. It's not rocket science. Now, if it was just me, it was one thing, but they keep making products that don't cater to the overwhelming majority of people. And the overwhelming majority of people are struggling to tell them on the forum. It's like, hey, this is what we want. It's not hard, right? And most companies, what they're doing right now, I gave this analogy before and I think it's perfect. Like, imagine if you manage to create a restaurant that's incredibly popular. Like, people from all over the city go to that restaurant, everyone goes there. It's one of the best steakhouses in the city. Great prices, great staff, great service, food is excellent. So you manage to create a brand. Now, when you want to open another restaurant, it should be easier, right? Just copy what the first one got right. But now with the second one, you're hiring some raging vegan activists that are like meat is murder type of people. And the entire menu is vegan from a steakhouse. And all they do is they're lecturing the customer about vegan ideology. And you're going to see that you have a very unsuccessful restaurant. And when people come out and they say, dude, we're sick and tired of your ideology, it's political. You're like, what are you talking about? It's just food. It's just a restaurant. You know, don't like it, don't eat there. This is what's happening with the gaming industry. So, like, their strongest argument is it's just a video game. It's just a movie. Why do you care? But when you look back at 2016, these articles were all over the place. They cared so much that multi-million-dollar for-profit corporations like Salon was writing non-stop articles about this. And all the leftists that are now calling the content creators grifters for pointing this out, they weren't calling the press out back in 2016. When you couldn't open a single publication that was targeting teenagers and young adults and was discussing entertainment without them criticizing the movies, without them criticizing the video games, which at the time were very popular. I mean, I pretty much can imagine myself 16 years from now sitting with my son and watching Captain America again, right? Like, it's such a great movie. It is not offensive to anyone. It's very pleasant to enjoy. And again, it's one of those movies that set the foundation for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the journalists hated it. And they hated it because apparently Captain America is apolitical and he's not a New Deal Democrat type of person. And they criticized until the studios started hiring consultants and they made the Marvel movies what you see today. And you know, it's really interesting because it's the opposite of what's happening now. Like, back then, the movies were popular. They were going around the world. They were generating a lot of revenue. And the critics were like, no. Look, the characters, right? We want you to make them political. We want you to make them our politics. They need to be Democrats. Like, look, he's actually saying, like, Captain America has to be a Democrat. So, how is that not grifting? I guess it's fine when they do it, right? Why weren't the leftists asking, well, why do you care, Salon? It's just entertainment. Salon, why do you care? Where were the leftists? Where were you guys? Where were you? Why were you asleep? Should I make a time machine and send you back like Terminators in order to ask Salon why do they care? I find it fascinating, right? Now it's the opposite. Now these IPs are failing. And people want them to be good and they're just telling them, look, just put a woman with big tits in it. Like, it's eye candy. Eye candy sells. It's free marketing. Like, people want to see a sexy woman on the box. They will turn their heads. They will fucking click on it. If they're on Steam and they see like 20 games and one game has a sexy woman, they're going to actually go like, what is this? And they're going to click. It's free marketing, you morons. It's free marketing. No, they don't want to do that. And they still come up with the cope. It's like, oh, gamers don't like women. Meanwhile, you have gacha games from China where they're saying we will not add male characters in our game. Like, the developers are flat out saying, and it's like all the gamers are flocking to those games, not because those games are amazing, but because AAA is so fucking shit. And it's getting even more expensive to play a AAA game than to play a full gacha game. This is the state we're in, and they're ignoring it. So, yeah, I mean, this is where most of the things went wrong. This is when it happened. And you need to correct course and go back to what worked in 2016, reproduce what worked, and stop listening to these people. And they're disingenuous, they're bad faith. The idea that, oh, why do you care? Well, where were you when they were caring, huh? I care because I want to play a Prince of Persia game. That's why I care. And I want to play a Prince of Persia game that's similar to the ones that I used to play. Because it's not the name of the game that makes me want to play it. It's the atmosphere, the theme. That's why I want to play Prince of Persia. Not because you call a game Prince of Persia, but we're trying to avoid the trope where the man saves the woman. So instead you're not going to have the princess that's in distress. Instead we're going to kidnap the prince. So now the prince is kidnapped and you need to rescue him on hip-hop music because diversity. It's like, what the fuck? And the game is already fucking diverse. Like, the prince is non-white, right? Like, it's not about the diversity. It's your understanding of it that pisses me off. The theme should be 1001 Nights. Oh, but you can't do that because Orientalism. Like, fuck those chains, man. Writers, listen to me. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Just fucking break those chains that do not allow you to create. I'm looking at Overwatch And I made a video previously when I talked about it, and it's the same thing, right? Like, they gave Deku the animations of tracers. Like, they gave Deku female animations, and it didn't make sense at the time, you know. And they also made All Might be Reinhardt, and it's like, why didn't they make Doomfist as All Might? Because that would make more sense. And then you realize, oh, because Doomfist is black and All Might is Asian, so like they can't race swap a black character. They're not allowed, even if it would make more thematic sense and it would look better. But the same thing with Deku. Like, Lucio would have been a better Deku because Lucio can actually wall walk. Like, he can wall run and stuff, and that would have been great. But they can't do that because it's a black character and you can't race swap it. And it's like, these are the chains of creativity. Like, they do not allow you to make a great game. They would rather have something shit, a male character with female animations and female poses, which I guess like goes in line with the gender abolition movement, rather than just focus on creating something that looks good as the customer, like something that you would enjoy playing. So this is what's going on, and I don't know how long it can last, because as I mentioned before, you know, the elephant is in the room, but it's getting to the point where denying that the elephant in the room is in the room makes you look delusional. Like, you know, you can deny it a little bit in the beginning, and you can deny it a little bit more, but like, there comes a point where you have to accept reality. So let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.